though it is a very lighter standard, for all practical purpose, this is one of the key important standard. AS1, disclosure of. The standard requires that, basic requirement of this standard. If you know the requirement, then the topic is over. Significant accounting policies adopted in the preparation of financial statements shall be disclosed. This standard says that policies that has been complied in the event of preparing financial statements, those financial statements that you adopted in the preparation of financial statement shall be disclosed. Understood? That is the basic requirement of AS1, that significant accounting policies adopted in the preparation of financial statement shall be disclosed. Everybody? See, in accounts we have thousands of policies, accounting policies. So in that, when you prepare financial statement, you will be selecting few policies. Even though we wanted to bring first of all uniformity, the first step Institute did that is that before we bring out uniformity and all, it may be like lakhs of accounting areas we have. So before we regulate all those things, at least for the time being, whatever you adopt, you disclose. At least let that be known to the readers. Understand? Everybody. So thereby the first standard was focusing on that area. Significant accounting policies adopted in the preparation of financial statement shall be disclosed. Whichever policy that you have adopted out of 5-6 policies, you would have selected one which is appropriate, which is correct for you. Somebody selected another policy. So what you have selected should be disclosed. Can you appreciate that? So what is accounting policy, sir? Accounting policy refers to accounting principles and methods adopted in achieving such principles. So at a lower level in CPT, when you learn, you try to first differentiate accounting convention means what, accounting policy means what, so principle means what, methods means what, technique means what, like that. You try to differentiate all these things. At a higher level, we consolidate all these things and we call in a single word called accounting policies. Everything. So it's not merely a principle is policy. So we have to give depreciation because that is a way of amortizing the cost that is needed for finding out the true profit. So you have to charge depreciation even though such an expenditure not incurred. You are buying a machinery, correct? You have to charge depreciation is a policy, accounting policy. Could you appreciate that?
Yes, sir.
See, machinery expenditure not charging to single P&L, charging to different is a policy. Second, for charging I have SLM, WDV, SYD, production unit, machine hour rate, annuity, sinking fund, like that several methods of depreciation I have. In that I will select only one method, correct? So principle is also a policy. Method for achieving that principle is also a policy. Could you appreciate that? Respond, pa. Stock valuation is a principle. Method of stock valuation is also considered as accounting policy. Could you appreciate that? So thereby accounting policy refers to accounting principles. Now in that it includes everything. Convention is a policy, that's all. Are you following? So you won't any longer say it is convention, technique, methods. Everything together is called policy. We told you that in a lower level you differentiate the word accrued and outstanding. Outstanding means for expense. Accrued means for income. At a higher level we interchange both. We say that accrued expense, outstanding income. Understood? So it is that income or expense which is decides that receivable or payable. It is not the word accrual or outstanding. Could you appreciate that? So thereby certain things what you give more rigidity at a lower level, we make it on a flexible at a higher level. Could you appreciate that? So everything is considered as what? Accounting. And whatever you follow, you please disclose. Understood? Everybody. So whatever policy so this institution is having should be disclosed to you, so that you don't have any fight with the institution and yourself individual. Understanding? So that is what primarily required for accounting also. Whatever you have followed should be disclosed. Shall we proceed?
Yes, sir.
Now for the purpose of disclosure, specific disclosure, this accounting policy is classified into two. For others. What do you mean by for fundamental accounting assumptions, which is GCA, going concern, consistency, accrual. So we understand that there are three fundamental assumptions, and which we call it as fundamental accounting assumptions, and we have any others as others accounting policy. Now, what is the basic need for classification? Means these accounting policy that you have followed need not be disclosed if they are followed. No disclosure if followed. Disclosure if not followed. What I should disclose then? When I am not following, what I should disclose? Disclose the fact that it is not followed. Disclosure means what? The fact that it is not followed. Are you following this? Others. Disclosure. Disclosure only if followed. No disclosure if not followed. So fundamental accounting assumptions are going concern, consistency and accrual. See, there are certain fundamental things that normally will be assumed. So when it is assumed by the other person like that, then when it is not happening so, it's your duty to disclose. Understood? That is the point. So there are certain fundamental things about you, everybody, or fundamental assumptions are there. If they are followed, there is no need for disclosure. We find that fundamental accounting assumptions, going concern, consistency and accrual. First of all, sir, you convey the end result. But what do you mean by going concern, consistency, accrual? So you know this. Understood? So what is that you know? Going concern means what? It is a presumption that the business will be exist in the foreseeable future. It's an assumption that the business also exists in the foreseeable future is the going concern concept. If that concept is non-existing, what happens? The accounts would have been in a complete disarray, or there won't be any distinction between capital expenditure and revenue expenditure. All the expenditure will be treated as revenue expenditure. This is what we teach when we take joint venture and partnership. Partnership does have going concern, where joint venture does not have going concern. So if you have going concern concept only, there is distinction between capital expenditure and revenue expenditure. Otherwise, there is no distinction. Everything will be revenue expenditure. Could you appreciate that? So when you have followed such going concern concept, there is no need for disclosing the fact that we have followed going concern. We know it. Understood? But suppose you do not have going concern. You have plans to close your business in future. Please communicate. Understood? If you have planned to continue business tomorrow also, don't tell. Tomorrow also I will be operating. You need not tell that in the accounts. Understood? But when you are making accounts and if you are very sure that tomorrow you are going to close the business, tomorrow next year you are going to close the business, please communicate the fact that the next year the business will be closed. Understood? That is what we are saying. So going concern, if followed, don't disclose. If not followed, disclose the fact that the policy is not there. Understood? Respond. Going concern. What is the concept first of all? Okay, so it's a fact that the business will be existing in the future. It is a basis for distinguishing capital expenditure and revenue expenditure. Understood? We have going concern, consistency. See, whatever policy you follow should be followed consistently. See, we presume that this year you are presenting. We are following WDV method of depreciation. I also understand that last year also it was WDV. Now it is not sufficient that merely disclosing the policies of this year alone. You should also disclose a fact that, or it is also a presumed fact that whatever you are following now was also followed previously. Will also be followed in future. Understood? This is a general presumption from side. So which means you need not disclose that this year it was WDV. Yeah? Understood? We always presume that last year also was WDV. If it was WDV, you need not tell in the accounts that no, last year also I was following WDV. You need not disclose that fact. I know it. Respond, ba? But if it is not WDV, last year it was SLM and this year you are following WDV, then please disclose the fact. If you are not consistent enough, please. Otherwise it will be a big shock to the others. They will not be understanding you, they will not be executing, they will not take proper decision. Understood? Respond, pa. See, sometimes now when it is without information something is happening, people are not getting proper decision. Please respond, ba. So consistency, something what you follow today, please follow tomorrow, and that was a thing that you followed in the previous year. If that is not there, you please, you can change, but disclose. Understood? Respond, ba. That is what consistency. The next concept is accrual. What do you mean by consistency? Accounting policies are to be applied consistently from period to period. Everybody. If it is consistently followed, no disclosure. If it is not, if there is change, then disclose. Is that clear? Third part is accrual. Income to be accounted as and when they are earned. Expense should be accounted as and when they are incurred, not when they are received or paid. Understood? Income should be accounted as and when they are earned. Income should be accounted as and when they are earned. Expense should be accounted as and when they are incurred. It is not to be accounted as and when they are received or paid. Could you appreciate that? Everybody. So, March month salary, it is getting paid in the month of April. I am paying when? Paying when? April. Now it is the expense of March or April. It is the expense of March. So you should not say that since I am paying in April, it is the expense of April, you can't tell. Understood? It is the expense of? This is called what concept? Accrual concept. No sir, I will account only in the month of April now. You are following cash concept. But we do not presume that you are following cash concept. We presume accrual concept. Are you following? So which means if you have followed accrual concept, there is no need for disclosure that you have followed accrual concept. And we are not forcing you that you should follow accrual concept. You can also follow cash concept of accounting. Are you following? But if it is cash method, please disclose. I am not aware of it. But if you have accrual concept, don't disclose it. I know it. Are you following? These are all called fundamental accounting assumptions. A case study type question only can come from this. Enterprise was following this method. It have disclosed this. Was that required? Or discuss in accordance with relevant accounting standard. Then you may provide. So they were following accrual concept. It was disclosed. or it was not disclosed, something will be given. So first you should write what? As per AS1, fundamental accounting assumptions are dash dash dash. Like that you will disclose, they will provide answer. And you will also state that these policies, if complied with, no need for disclosure. If it is not followed, it has to be disclosed. In the given case, accrual policy was not disclosed by this enterprise, which is against AS1. So the auditor has to qualify the report if it is in relation to that way, or you will be making the point it is a violation of AS1, like that you should be providing the answer. Could you appreciate that? So first you write the provisions of accounting standard, then discuss that case in relevant to that accounting standard, respond. Whether you remember the actual paragraph or wordings and all, just relates to the accounting standard. This is in AS1 or AS2 or AS3, correct? Yes, sir. Respond. And then you write, you will have an answer by reading a case law or by reading a case study, you will get one answer because you have common sense. Based on their common sense, now you create the provision. Based on the common sense answer, you create the provision. Respond. You are not remembering provision, but your common sense giving one answer, no. But don't give that one line answer in the question, examination. You create and you write as per accounting standard 7. Like that you create the provision. Never you heard AS7. But you relate, at least you should be knowing which standard is relating to, correct? So you write as per AS7, this is the provision. In the given case, this is how it has been happened. And then you provide the one line summary. If that one line summary is correct, your provision is also correct. If your common sense have given you a correct answer, then that provision is also correct. Because provisions are created by human being. Respond. If those human beings created the provision, you can also create same provision. The standard is dealing only with the disclosure parts, but it also provides support in selection of accounting policy. When I have 5 accounting policy, which policy I should select? Color. Bracket language. So we understand that which policy to be selected. So for that we have confusion. We have 5 policy. All the 5 policies suits us. Understood? So in that case, which policy to be selected is a question mark. Right, Manikanda? Now we are discussing selection criteria. Are you following this? In this selection criteria, we have primary consideration. Secondary consideration. Everybody? So we have primary consideration, we have secondary consideration. Understood? Now Harshal, so you have, after your qualification, out of 5, 1 is to be selected. Selection in different way. You have primary consideration, secondary consideration, my dear. In that first, primary consideration should be for the policy. Now you got 5 policy. Harshal, 5 selection given to you by your parents. So the first is, out of 5 policy, whichever policy gives, that policy to be selected. True, fair. Understood? Respond. So if all the 5 are true and fair, all 5 can't be accepted. You should follow the ethics, culture, business culture, accounting culture you should follow. You should follow only one accounting policy. Understood? Secondary consideration, Harshal. You will look into the prudence, being conservative, being realistic. Understood? you should know what you are and what policy suits you. That being prudent is very important, understood? Then very important part is materiality. First factor is what? But almost all the policies are true and then you should consider prudence concept. Then materiality. The more important part is substance over form. Being prudent means, see, anticipating the losses, providing the losses, but do not anticipate gains, profits. Understood? So in such selections and all, you should be selecting such policy by considering this factor that you should consider the losses but not the gains. So don't see the gains, see only the losses. Materiality. Accounting standard primarily applicable only to material items. So you should be looking into the significance. Materiality is, so you should consider only the material factors. Please understand. Materiality as a concept is very, very significant in auditing. You will be learning, spending a lot of time in learning this concept called materiality. It means absence of an information. Absence of information, providing wrong information to the readers, which means that information is considered as material. Understood? So absence of an information leading to wrong decision for the readers. In that case, that information is material. Otherwise, it is not material. Could you appreciate that? So thereby, you should consider prudence. You should consider. You should also look into substance over form. From AS1, from these two concepts, one is from prudence, the other one is from substance over form. Already questions have appeared in the examination. Substance over form means you need not always consider the legal rules and regulations. You look into the substance of that case and decide which policy is correct. One is materiality. Let me take one enterprise buying a motorbike. One company is buying a motorbike worth rupees 50,000. They have charged, this can be used for 5 years. This motorbike is having a life of 5 years. They have charged this expenditure to the P&L. This policy of charging to the P&L, you have seen that in your audit. You are the article assistant, you went to the audit, you find that in the P&L there is an amount charged. Whether this policy is correct or not correct. Is it correct or not correct, my dear? It is. It's an amount which can be, it's an asset which can be used for, and they have charged this into P&L. So whether this policy is correct or accepted or not accepted. Not accepted, but sometimes you took this case to auditor says that it's okay, but leave it. It's accepted. And you're very angry. Sir, I have learned that a capital expenditure should be shown in the balance sheet. Now take the balance sheet. You took the balance sheet and now see the asset. The asset is having an asset, fixed asset worth rupees 25,000 crores. The fixed assets of that company is totally 25,000 crores. In that this bike, whether it is capitalized or not capitalized, it is definitely not going to have any impact in that accounts. Is that clear? It is for them like drinking a tea. It's like a tea expense. Very, very petty, negligible expense for them.
Yes, sir.
Understood? Then such a big company, why they bought motorbikes, sir? They bought this motorbike for the security persons. Are you following a response? So company is owning the bike and it is to be used for various people going for small areas. So for them bike will be given. Could you appreciate that? So they can't capitalize this charge depreciation of 5 years and all. They are having heavy assets worth rupees 100 crore asset, 50 crore asset. In that 50,000 rupees asset only they can't capitalize. When in that relevance, whether this policy is correct or not correct, acceptable or not acceptable, you consider which factor you know? Materiality is a factor based on which you consider this policy is correct. Otherwise, you find that, sir, bike should be capitalized, sir. It can be used for 5 years. You will be very adamant to that. Understood? So thereby you should be looking there. The materiality factor makes the charging of bike to the P&L as a correct accounting policy. Could you appreciate that? Please respond. Everybody. Fine. Substance over. You need not always look into what's it? Legal rules and regulation. Look into the substance of the case. In practice, we tell at a lower level. So always what you don't look always into the rules and all. You have traffic regulations. Traffic regulations, the green light, the red light, all these things are only to avoid accident. Green means you should, the red means you should, the orange means you should get ready. But that is the sign people use it as moving very fast. The moment that color is seen now, I'm going very slow. I used to do that. I used to go very slow. That sign seen now, immediately I will move it very fast. That is different issue. But you have some indications to avoid. Why do you avoid accident? To save life. Correct, Abba? Now you are standing in the traffic. Imagine ambulance coming. There is red light, that stop is there. Will you ask ambulance, stop, stop, stop? We should save life. In ambulance, 4 people are fighting for life. So there you can't apply what's there. The rules, you should look into the substance of the case. Could you appreciate that? Everybody. So fire engine comes. Will you stop? No. So many places you will allow the law to be overridden. Because there what is important? Substance of that fact. That circumstances. Correct? So thereby only always you need to look into legal regulation. Now I'll tell you the examination question that had come based on the substance. Now forget about this traffic regulations and all. It was happened like that in the month of March, and company have sold their property. In the month of they have collected the consideration in the month of March. Respond. Money was collected when? March. Agreement was drafted when? March. The possession was given when? But so far, registration was not happen. It is expected to happen only in the next year, April. It is next month here. Understood? Respond. Now, according to law, according to the Transfer of Property Act, the sale is said to be completed only if it is registered. Are you following? According to this particular Transfer of Property Act, the sale is said to be completed only when sale is registered. Could you appreciate that? Now actually 200 worth of lakhs asset sold for 250 lakhs, resulting in a gain of. Now this 50 lakhs, is it to be recognized in the year 13-14 where the sale took place in March 2014, or is it the profit of 14-15 where the registration took place in April? April means 14-15. Understood? Respond. March means. Now tell me, is it the profit of 13-14 or 14-15? It is a profit of 13-14, but law says it is a profit of. But don't look into that law part. Are you following? Maybe for legal purposes, you take the sale is completed only when registration is completed. But for accounting purpose, almost everything is over. Just a matter of formality is pending. Correct? So for that purpose alone, you can't postpone the profit next year. It has to be the profit of 13-14. Understood? So you are considering that accounting based on the fact that it is substance over form. The same concept we will be once again touching when we take up the next chapter, which is called hire purchase accounts. In hire purchase accounts, what happens? The ownership to a buyer we will pass only when the full consideration is paid. The ownership to the buyer will be given only when full consideration is given. Maybe he may take 2 years to pay the consideration. Are you following this? Respond. So legally the buyer becomes owner only after 2 years. But right from the first day onwards, it will be shown as an asset in the books of buyer. For accounting purpose, for legal, whatever you think, but for accounting purpose, because we look into the substance. What is the real substance there? Now, the person who wants to buy the asset by taking a loan from third party and wants to buy outright basis, correct? Instead of taking that loan, he is taking the loan from you, that's all. The buyer, instead of taking loan from a private bank, they are taking the loan directly from the seller. That's all. That's the only way you should be looking into the substance. And by considering the substance, right from the first day of the transaction, it will be considered as an asset of whom? Even though legally it is not buyer's asset, it is whose asset? Seller's asset. Legally, for legal purpose, for court, for law, who is the owner? Seller will be continue to be the owner till the end of that second year. Understood? But for accounts purpose, it will be considered as whose asset? Buyer's asset. Could you appreciate that? Please respond. So these are all the selection criteria for accounting policy. The base money questions had come, so we can't miss out. Understood? What are the selection criteria? Primary consideration. What is that primary consideration? True and fair value. Secondary consideration. Prudence, materiality, substance over form. Pakka? Everybody? We are discussing which standard? AS? Disclosure of? Now, this standard says that disclosure of accounting policy should be made where, sir? Is it below balance sheet or below P&L? So don't show in balance sheet and P&L. Show in a separate place called notes to accounts. Understood? But this standard doesn't say that where it should be presented. It doesn't say in the notes and all. It says that all disclosure should be made at one place. All disclosure should be made at one place. Are you following? You should not be scattering the information, some after that P&L, some after balance sheet. Now you see P&L balance sheet as maybe one single sheet. But company's financial statement comprises of a book. Are you following? P&L will run into 7-8 pages. Balance sheet will run into 7-8 pages. So you find that it is not a single page where you can see all the information. Are you following? The standard says that. So all the disclosure should be made at. So very important point is that disclosure should be made at one place. Should be made at one place. We make a general point there that generally it is disclosed or it is presented as notes to accounts. Everybody? Now, misapplication of accounting policy, disclosure of accounting policy is not an excuse for misapplication of accounting policy. Anybody understand this word? Otherwise standard is over. Disclosure of accounting policy is not an excuse for misapplication of accounting policy. You understand something? With this standard is over, what is it? See, you have selected one policy which is wrong. Everybody. Now that wrong policy you have selected, no. Respond. And you have disclosed that this policy was followed. According to AS1 you have complied. AS1 disclosure complied. But according to imagine AS2, this is a wrong policy. You have actually followed LIFO valuation. What valuation? LIFO. But AS2 allows only FIFO and weighted average. You have followed what, sir? LIFO. So now, according to AS1, you are disclosing for valuation of stock, we have followed LIFO principle. Everybody? Now, this disclosure becomes an excuse and thereby can we say AS1 and AS2 both complied? No. AS2 now violated. Complying with AS1, complying with the disclosure is not an excuse for following the wrong policy. Correct, pa? You follow something wrong. You committed one crime, pa. Everybody. A thief, after conducting the robbery, going to the police station, I only did it. By making that point, is he becoming a good person? No. His punishment is due only. Correct, respond, pa. So you following a wrong accounting and disclosing it very neatly according to AS1 doesn't protect. AS1 doesn't protect you from misapplication of accounting policy. Could you appreciate that? So disclosure of accounting policy is not excuse for misapplication of accounting policy. AS1 over.